Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Maria from uh, Barefoot Holistics with You Mind, our weekly show with light workers from across the globe. And this evening, we are very honoured to have Mr. Ryan Taylor, all the way from Dallas, Texas, in the USA. Um, uh, uh, I forgot to say to you, Ryan, that if you look up down the sidebar, it should say live comments.
Okay.
There's nobody on right now, but hopefully people will come in. And then you should be able to see comments. But if not, people watch the videos afterwards. So don't worry about it. So Ryan is, what would you call yourself? Sound healer?
How much time you got? I've tried to put a title on it, and it's kind of hard to do because I've practiced several modalities. So I guess you would say like a sacred ceremonial drummer.
Nice.
But that all started from my trips down to Haiti and Africa many years ago, and was initiated into the Haitian spirituality as a hongan, an elder or priest, and at the same time picking up all of the drum techniques and how they heal and how they use sound to connect with spirit and realign the body and the soul. So it's been a journey for the last 20 years. So
Fantastic.
And an interesting one to say the least.
Yeah, I'd love to meet you in person, to be honest. I guess we'd have conversations for hours.
Yes.
Yeah. I was in a djembe group in the UK, and we had some guys come from Zimbabwe to do some lessons with us over a few weeks. Oh my God, they were amazing, absolutely amazing. Hi, Kathy, welcome. Just they'd be like jumping out of the seats, like, and we were like, amazing. But they did this work. Sorry.
It is powerful work.
It is, yeah. I so miss it. I really do. I really miss it. But so Kathy, you've just joined us. So Ryan's from Dallas, Texas. And what did you say? I see. I've not got my pen and paper, so I didn't write it down.
So what do I call myself?
Yeah.
Just a sacred ceremonial drummer. It's yeah.
Sacred ceremonial drummer. So
Yes,
so if you want to tell us a little, oh, thank you, Cara.
There you go. When you put into things, they manifest. See how that works?
Say again?
I said when you put thoughts into things, they manifest.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking that we are going to meet in real time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to tell us a little bit about your backstory, Ryan, about
Sure.
what got you into this and what you've done.
Oh gosh. Well, let's see. So I'll be 48 this year, and I started drumming when I was probably 5 or 6. So I've been doing it a really long time. And for the longest time living here in Dallas in the United States, I was pretty much into the rock and roll scene and the jazz scene and the club scene. A lot of live music, here in the city. And I relocated to Chicago and Indiana in the early 2000s, and met up with a group of friends that studied like African drumming and Haitian drumming. And, they understood that I was a drummer, and they said, well, this aspect of it, you should try doing this. So I went to classes, I listened to some CDs of their drumming and started to get into it a lot deeper. And while that was happening, ever since I was a small child, I was always in the belief that there was something larger than us in the universe, that it wasn't just Earth and the little blue ball floating through the cosmos and we were it. It didn't make any sense to me. So when I started doing this African and Haitian drumming and getting into it deeper, things started to open up. And I started to feel a deeper connection to the ancestors, be it my grandmother who passed away, be it other spiritual energies that were in the room. And as that began to happen, I started taking more trips down to Haiti and was initiated as a Hungan, a priest in that tradition, and then started to
Wow.
learn the drum techniques that they use to actually manifest spirit and to cleanse the soul and to align the what they call the body mind state.
Yes.
And it floored me. I was, this was back in 2004, so it's been what 16 years, and I've just been practicing and practicing. And I go back to Haiti as much as I can and do the spiritual work. We're actually doing a large ceremony next weekend here in Texas.
Nice.
And when you know that your passion is what your purpose is, you feel it. It's this burning sensation that comes out of the heart and of the chest because that's where all of your passion is. And I came back from Haiti the first time. I was actually a mechanical design engineer for the aviation and aerospace industries, doing a lot of engineering work.
Okay.
Huh? Yeah.
Sorry,
I was an engineer.
I didn't hear you.
No, I was an engineer when I went. I was an engineer when I went, and I came back a sacred drummer. So I just kind of gave up, everything that was of the Western mindset because and I'm not saying people should give up their jobs, but when you have a different purpose in life, what you are currently doing doesn't resonate with you, or it doesn't make any sense, or it doesn't fulfill you. It just doesn't, put you where you need to be. So in Africa, they call it the inner genius. That's what your purpose is. And I found that. The inner genius. Genius.
Inner genius.
Yes, ma'am. So that in the African cosmological order means that is what your purpose is. That's your path. And then I spent time in West Africa and Burkina Faso and learned about the Dagara, which is a completely different system than what they use in Haiti. They do it. Their lifestyle is based off of the 5 elements, and each person has one of those elements. And of those elements, each element has a drum rhythm. So when you play that drum rhythm that's associated with what your element is, you're opening up your inner path. You're opening up your purpose and what your actual divine role on this earth is at this time. So I'd
love to see some of that.
It's powerful. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And just kept doing that and sticking with the Haitian drumming and the West African drumming. And then I would say around 2010, 2012, I spent time with the Lakota in South Dakota, Native American reservation, and did drumming and divination work with them. So I kind of have all 3 under my belt, and has completely changed my life. I mean, it's something that, like I said, when it's burning and you feel that sound and that vibration, and it takes you to that place of originality when you're doing your work, whether it's drumming, whether it's reading cards, whether it's doing divination work, that is what your role is. That's what your purpose is. And you can't get away from it. Spirit will not let you get away from what it is that you're supposed to do. So,
I was just talking to a friend yesterday because my business is just not doing anything at the minute. And I was saying, the amount of times I've said, right, that's it, I'm not going to do this anymore. What's the point? I don't have enough clients, it's not enough to survive on. But, I can't find a normal job. And when I do get a normal job, it doesn't last.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I'm obviously meant to be doing this. I just need the bloody clients,
No, that's the exact thing I've run through.
That's why I'm saying I'd like to do this, what you were saying earlier about the finding your element, which opens up your path, because maybe there's something else along the path that I should be doing.
We could do a real quick experiment. If you give me the last digit of your birth year, that tells me what your element is.
My birth year.
The last number of your birth year.
7.
You're fire. You're like me. Fire. And fire people actually have the hardest time functioning in today's normal society because the people of fire, we're the creators, and we are the ones to are the bridge between the spiritual world and this world, and we're always ahead of the game. We're ahead of the rest of the elements. So people look at that as maybe having ADD, or they can't focus, or they can't keep a job. They can be a little impatient. They're always in a hurry because fire burns and burns and takes and consumes. It also creates. So knowing your rhythm, and I'll share that with you later, what the fire rhythm is, will help you to see your manifestation, where it is that you need to, where it is you need to go. So RJ Raymond asked, what is zero?
Yeah.
Zero is earth, the element of earth. And the element of earth is about nurturing and abundance, and caring and giving motherly love. Always kind of being that caretaker in the group. They're the ones that people come to for healing and for acceptance. Yeah, so that is your element, is earth. And 5 is also earth. 0 and 5 are earth. If you guys want, I'll go through the numbers and break them down real quick. So 0 and 5, your element is earth. 2 and 7, your element is fire. 1 and 6, your element is water. 3 and 8, your element is nature. 4 and 9, your element is mineral. And that's how they determine what your element is in the dogger, is by the last digit. Now, keep in mind, we all embody all 5 elements, but you have the one main element that is your element of creation and purpose. You follow what I'm saying? So you have, like me, for example, I have a lot of water. I have a lot of mineral because there's a lot of 9s in my date of birth is September 29th. So 929, that's mineral, fire, mineral. So, and I do a lot of teaching, workshops, and then I have that fire aspect too. So you're going to have the other elements with you, but you have the main element that is your divine purpose.
Yeah.
You follow, and and each one has its own.
So how do you find the other elements? Is that all to do with the date of birth still?
Correct, yes. It's the last digit of the birth. Yep.
So you'd work it out with this chart. Yeah, yes, RJ, it does sound like you.
Who is Maria? Oh, that's you. Yeah.
Yeah, me, Emery.
That's good stuff.
That makes
So that is some of the stuff I've been doing for about 15 years, and then along with the 3 is nature. 3 is nature, and nature is about acceptance and change, because nature is always changing. So people who are of nature are constantly changing. They're rooted in their seed and they're rooted in their power, but they are always about change. People that are nature love to play jokes on people. They have a really, really a dry sense of humor.
Yeah, that's Kathy.
And another aspect that follows nature is the element of death, because death is change. So we don't look in the African and Haitian traditions, we don't look at death as the be all end all. It is merely a change from one cycle and one realm to the next. You're going from one physical body to another body. So if you look at the yin and the yang, for example, how they're always consistently coinciding with one another, the two constants that we know in this realm are life and death. You're going to live, you're going to die. But you're not dying. The universe tells us that nothing ever stops. It's just a transcendence. So you're just going to go from energy. Yeah, it's pure constant energy. You can't stop.
Yeah, you can't drink. You can't destroy energy.
You ever ask one of your friends, they may be really quiet, and you're like, what are you thinking of? And they say, oh, nothing. There's no such thing as nothing. There's no void. There's always something. So that's what it is, just a constant void. It goes back and forth. And each one of these elements has its drum pattern that you play, and you do a small ritual for that element, and then you begin to play that drum pattern. And next thing you know, it may take a few days. Some people it comes day 1, some people it comes day 20. But that information starts to come up. And I've seen so many people, after teaching them this information, they've quit their jobs. Some of them divorced their spouse. Some of them, they moved into another house. I'm not encouraging that. But it's opening up who you truly are, because we are merely, I'm the Grim Reaper. I love it. We are souls in a meat covered wagon having a physical experience.
I
That's
call
all
it a
this.
meat suit. I call it a meat suit.
A meat suit, same thing.
Yeah,
We learn on this journey, and then eventually we go home. So,
absolutely.
I try to tell people at the drum workshops I do to not take everything that's happening around you seriously, whether it's the COVID-19, whether it's bankruptcy, it is every experience. Well, there's two aspects of experience. The first one, every experience that you go through is a lesson for the next experience to come. Okay, and every experience that you go through is an initiation. If you lose a
Yeah,
job, if you lose a spouse, if you have a child, whatever, those are initiations to strengthen and fortify the soul. So when you look at it that way, you still want to pay homage and respect to the experience that you're going through, but you don't have as much of an attachment to it, because you're
yeah,
like, this it's another experience to get me through where I need to be. And what the drum does is just help to fortify that information. These drums back here, those are tools. They're magical tools that get you to deepen your understanding of where you need to be.
yeah. Me and RJ were both drummers, so we get that. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely agree. What your
Say is
birthday?
right. I agree. Your birthday is day after mine. So you're September 30th. Is that what they're saying? Because mine is September 29th, so September 30th. Yeah. So you have that September, the 9 is the first, actually, the first digit of our birthday is once you connect the element by the rhythm, does the element then give you more rhythms? A drummer asking, I mean, will the element talk back? Absolutely. Once you
Great
connect to the element
question.
by the rhythm, it does give you rhythm. And there's 5 rhythms. Each element has its own rhythm. Um, and they're steeped in very ancient tradition out of the Dagara and Burkina Faso. And I would be happy to come back on at some point, like maybe do a class. I actually do Zoom classes and things
Yeah,
like that to teach the elements. The beauty part is they're really simple. You don't have to be a master drummer to know it. It's the intention that you're putting into it
yeah,
that
yeah.
helps set the groundwork for this drum. So, we're not trying to be master African drummers. That's a different class. This is more, sacred ceremonial work, very simple patterns. It's more about the intention that you put into it. And it's more about what in Africa they call the container. And the container is an object or an ideology that you put all of your focus into, and you don't let
That's
anything else come in around. Some people use a doll. Some people might use a talking stick. But if you can, I have African ancestry too. That's awesome. Um, you want to look at that object and play that rhythm, and you might see the object move. You might see it
yeah,
twitch. The object might start to talk back to you. So again, with these drum rhythms, it's not about mastering, the African rhythms. It's about fortifying the intention and the manifestation that you're trying to open up. And that drum just helps to shut down the monkey brain syndrome so you can accomplish that. Because God knows
yeah, yeah.
I've got a 2-year-old kid running around the house, and it is nonstop. I mean, I love him, and he's already learning how to play these guys back here,
Well
and
done.
but they have the attention span of a gnat, so it's just it's constantly back and forth, and these rhythms are also, they help to ground. There's grounding in them as well. So they're basic patterns that, yeah, we should go over at some point. And
Yeah, I'd love you to come back on and do a full class actually.
consider it,
You know
consider it done.
that would be brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
my daughter, I got my daughter a drum kit when she was either 2 or 3.
Oh
A
yeah.
little mini mouse, Mickey Mouse drum kit.
Yeah.
And she's actually a drummer. She actually plays full on
Oh, wow.
drums now. Yeah,
How old is she?
yeah. How old is she now?
How old is
Uh,
she now?
how?
How old?
How old is she?
Yeah.
She's nearly 30.
Okay, so she's probably pretty good then, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, she plays guitar, mouth organ, whatever they call it, oh, whatever it's called, the not the banjo, the little thing.
Oh,
What it's called?
the ukulele mandarin, one of those
Ukulele.
things.
Plays the
Yes, yes.
ukulele. Yeah, she's amazing. But anyway,
I
another
have
topic.
it's not in the shot, but I have a rock and roll kit right over here. I've got the whole
Wow.
drum cymbals, and so
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what my
Oh,
son's. But
good. Teach them young.
oh, absolutely, yeah, that's where it starts.
Yeah, I
That's
wish my
definitely.
daughter was on. She normally comes in, but she's not on tonight. She would have loved this. Never mind. Um, yeah, so where were we? Okay. I'm just so excited. You know, this is more than what I thought it was going to be because we didn't get a chance to speak properly last night with the laptop being an idiot.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am. It happens.
so I know, right? So so do you do any online classes or anything like that?
I do. I have I do a Zoom class once a week, every Wednesday.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
I
And
didn't.
then what I'm doing with it. So actually, what I'm doing with that class now, I'm not going to be doing it this week because we are doing a sacred ceremonial week. I have a client coming in from out of town, and we're initiating her into the Vodun lineage, and it takes about a week to do that. And then Saturday, this coming Saturday, we're doing what's called a fete, which is like a giant celebration with the drums, the singing, spiritual possession occurs, and it lasts from 8 p.m. till about 1 in the morning. So this entire week has been me putting the psalms together, putting the prayers together, cooking all the food. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's a beautiful beautiful end result. But typically on Wednesday, I do a class. A class called Drumming the I Ching. Are you familiar with that system?
Yeah. Well, I know the I
Okay.
Ching, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know of it. Yeah.
So Michael Drake, who is a shamanic drummer here in the United States, wrote this book.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I know Michael Drake is. I've not seen the
Okay.
book, I don't think.
So what he does is he goes over with us each one of the trigrams and the hexagrams, and then he shows how to drum the trigram and the hexagram. So what
Wow.
I've done is I did a couple workshops with him in, I want to say, North Carolina. It's been about 15 years. One of those states back east, and he is open to people sharing his knowledge because people need that medicine. So
Yeah,
every
we do.
Wednesday we will do a small I Ching ritual with the coins, and you consult the oracle, and then the numbers of the coins give you what your trigram is going to be. It's a solid. You have solid lines and dashed lines. So the
Yeah.
solid line is a droned out bass tone, and the dashed lines are open tones on the edge. So
Yeah.
the ideology behind this again is if you get the each or if you get the hexagram of say equilibrium, then you have that pattern and you drum the pattern and you read the hexagram from the bottom up. So you're playing out that pattern. So I will just pull up. Well, okay, this one here is breakthrough. Can you see that pattern?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, you see it?
Just
Okay,
about,
so
yeah.
I'm teaching people how to drum that. They
Good.
drum the result that the oracle gives them, and again, it's setting a deeper fortification of the result that you're looking to have, and that's where we are with that. So Maria Michael Drake is where those power animal rhythms. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
he
that's
knows
probably
it.
where I recognize the name from. Yeah.
Yeah, he master shamanic drummer here in the United States. Great guy, very humble, very down to earth, and he is a just a body full of information when it comes to drumming. So, it's my belief that no drummer knows everything. You always have enough room to pull in more information, and
Yeah.
that's kind of a passion of mine is just learning all these different modalities and how they can be used. They just you just add the
Oh,
drum.
God, I really wish we lived closer. This is
Well,
like my dream. I'm sure RJ would say the same. Say again.
I'm more than willing to move to Cyprus. Trust me. Anything to get me out of the States, I'll get over there in a heartbeat.
Seriously, you wouldn't want to move it. I'm trying to get out of here, so we need to find a country with a bit cooler temperature and just form our own little ecosystem within that. That's what I'd like to do. My own little shamanic eco village.
You know, I am more than willing to do that. I've been trying to get that together, and I feel it's on the precipice. I feel that something is coming. I know it's not going to be here in the United States because, not to change the subject real quick, but with everything that's going on, it's going to get ugly over here in the States. And I don't want my 2-year-old son to be, around that. So.
Same in the UK.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go back there.
Morocco, maybe the south of Spain, somewhere over there.
Yeah. Morocco. In fact, RJ can tell you all about Morocco. She teaches Reiki in Morocco.
Oh, really?
RJ. Yeah, you two should connect.
I am all ears.
Yeah, you'll have to send me a link to your Zoom classes on a Wednesday. I mean, I normally do a class on a Wednesday, but it hasn't run the last few weeks, so I'm kind of figuring I'm not going to bother with it.
Now, it is a live session at 6:30 p.m., so it will be about, 3 a.m. over your time?
Oh, okay.
But I record it. It's a recorded session, so you get the recorded version.
Yeah. You can get the replay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to have a look at that.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure others on here would as well.
You got it. I love it. There's a lot of in Morocco. Then we would fit in.
I'm not sure what you mean, Kathy, about how polite. I think you mean Ryan with the yes ma'am. Kathy, she says she loves how polite you are.
Oh, that is a Texas thing.
Yeah.
It's a Southern thing. We call everyone ma'am and sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Connect with me on Facebook, please. I would love that.
You're not accepting friend requests though, Ryan. I've tried to friend you and it won't allow me to friend you.
I don't know why. I get friend requests all the time. I don't know why.
It's really strange.
Maybe I should try to send you one.
Yeah, you send me one.
Okay.
So we're halfway through, Ryan. Do you want to give us a little bit of something?
Oh, you want me to play something?
Something, anything, whatever you want to do. Something practical.
Let me go grab a drum here.
Okay.
Let's see.
So glad you joined us, RJ. I forgot to remind you about it.
Okay, so you can't see it, but I do have a drum here.
I know, mine's at home. Sorry.
It's a smaller one.
We can just use the table.
You were saying that your element was fire, right? Okay, so I will play.
It is according to you, but to me, my element is air, but I know it's fire. I'm a fire sign.
Yeah, when you do the Dogra and the Native American elements, they line up. So air and fire are almost the same thing because air feeds fire. So let me just do a sound check. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Fire rhythm for you, okay? And then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, it goes
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
You have your drum there? You can hear it in your head?
I can feel it. Give me was it slap, slap, tone, tone?
So it goes, I'll put the drum up so you can see my hands. It goes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you a video of that actual rhythm that I did about a year ago, and then feel free to share it with your entire group.
Yeah, thank you.
You'll have a better understanding of what it
Yeah,
sounds like.
thank you.
I got this drum in New York about 4 or 5 years ago. It's just a small 10-inch djembe, and it's been one of my favorites because I have it tuned kind of low, so you don't have the high cracks like the one behind you does.
Yeah.
But it's very grounding. It's very root settling. I can
It's
play
a
on
shame
the.
I'm not. It's a shame I'm not at home to show you my djembe. It needs tuning, and I've not got the strength in my fingers to do it. It's gone flat now because I've not played it. Well, I've played it a couple of times since I've been in Cyprus, but it's gone flat. But I bought it from Africa, from a village in Africa, and it's mahogany, so it weighs an absolute ton, and it's beautiful. It's got elephants all carved in it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they're heavy. They're extremely
Yeah.
heavy. Do you want me to grab the? You want me to grab the big one back there?
Whatever you want to do. It's your show.
Actually, it's your show. I'm just a guest. Can
It's
you
your
drum
show.
Earth? I'll remember it. Absolutely, absolutely. So the interesting thing about the rhythm of Earth is the story behind it. The bass tones are the heartbeat of the Earth giving us life, and then the open tones are us walking on the Earth with respect. Because in the African cosmological order, they believe the ancestors come from the Earth. The ancestors don't come from above; they come from beneath. So Earth is actually it's really simple. It goes like this. You got that, RJ?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm going to quiz you guys at the end of the show. There's going to be a
Say
pop
again?
quiz. There's going to be a pop quiz at the end of the show. Now,
Okay.
I'm just let me grab this drum over here. All right, so there's a story behind this one. This is the big one. This is the mahogany drum. This was given to me by a friend of mine here in Texas, and she had ordered it off of Amazon. And the skin was in really bad shape. The body was in bad shape. And she said, "You know what? It's just too much drum for me. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it off." So I reheaded it, and then I baptized it and gave it a name. And I'm going to show you the base of this drum. Can you see that face?
Yeah. Wow.
So what I did was I gave it a baptism, and I named the drum Joie Wangazi, which is Kiswahili. Yeah, that means one who sits in the sun or one who sits in the sunshine. And since that face reminded me of somebody sitting in the sun, then that's where it went. But I'm gonna bring it back over here so I can play it for you guys real quick.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. More elements in nature. Yeah, so it goes fire, water, earth, mineral, and nature. Those are your 5 elements. Let's see, 4 elements in nature. Yes, ma'am. That's it. This is my favorite one right here. Does it sound okay in there?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. This is what you need. You want to get through the day? Grab one of these guys right here. Does anybody else want
Yeah.
to know the rest of the elements? We did fire and earth. Anybody out there?
Anybody else want to know the elements? The drum beat per element? Maria, are you still there? Kathy, did we do yours? Yeah, we did yours.
Makes you want to dance. That makes me
Get up
happy.
and dance, Maria.
Ma'am. I wish you had brought your
Well
drum with
done.
you today. Also got 3 wins in my birth date. What is one? One is water.
Yeah, one's
Do you want to
water.
know? What's that? Three.
I was just
Three.
repeating.
So let me play. So RJ, let me play water for you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
The response. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do it. So water. Oh, okay, and nature. So let me do water first, and then I'll do nature. So water
Okay.
is 6 beats. It's 3 tones and 3 slaps. When it's slowed down, it sounds like this. It's at real time, it sounds like you're actually playing 5 beats, but there's 6 in there. So real time would sound like this.
Oh, yeah.
That's water. Nature goes like this. Real time, it's this. Water in nature.
Awesome.
Any mineral people? 9? Any 9s out there? Mineral?
Say it anyway, because I've got 9 in my birth year.
Okay, so 9 is very similar to nature. So in nature, we did the bass tone, 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 bass, bass, tone. The only difference is with mineral is you start off with 2 bass tones. So it'll be like this. Real time.
Yeah.
So I can combine them. That's cool. Thanks, bro. Very happy, sacred drumming here. The world needs a lot. Yes, it does. Yes, you can combine them. You can play all 5. You don't have to play just your element. You can play all 5 to get in touch with your all 5 elements. There are rituals that can be done for each element. You can do a group ritual, or you can do a private individual ritual, and then you will play that rhythm. So, you know, what I always tell people is whatever spirit is calling you to get in touch with that day, what happens is a lot of people, like me, I'm fire, Maria's fire. So a lot of people will just play the fire rhythm and just do the fire ritual, and that burns you out and that gets you off balance. So you have to do a small ritual for each one and then play that drum rhythm so you have a lot more harmony because it takes all 5 elements to feed off of each other and to give you strength. What the main element means basically is that is your divine purpose. And I'll go kind of over those with you guys. Fire in the Doggerry cosmology, fire was the first element, and the story goes to the Dogger in West Africa. The ball was a giant. The Earth was a giant ball of fire hurling through the cosmos at breakneck speed, and it got too close to the veil between this universe and the other. When that happened, the strength of the Earth reaching that veil pulled the water in from the other side of the veil, and it began to cool the Earth. So now there's your fire and your water. As the Earth cooled, it began to solidify and become hard and solid. That became Earth. After that, you had the Earth create rocks, create mountains, create dirt, create sand. That became mineral. And from that mineral and the water and the earth and the fire combination, they began to spawn life. And that is how you got nature. So that is your story. I mean, obviously it's broken down. They go into it a lot deeper. But that is your broken down version of the elements. And what each element means is, like I said, fire people are, we're kind of the gatekeepers between the spiritual world and the physical. A lot of children here in the West, and when I say the West, I don't just mean the United States, I mean the Western mentality. So even though Europe is part of the Eastern Hemisphere, it is of a Western mindset. So in the Western mindset, a lot of people who are of the fire element are looked at as people that maybe have ADD, they can't focus, they can't hold attention for very long. The reason for that is because fire people are always creating, and the fire people are usually ahead of the other four because we kind of set the pathway what the other 4 elements are going to do. So we're always thinking and getting messages from the spirit world as to how to lay out the groundwork to make sure that everybody else is safe. People that are water they are great healers. They are great when it comes to reconciliation. They are good people for helping to calm down a situation. They will bring soothing peace to any type of environment, any type of situation that you might have. See, Earth, again, the Earth people kind of take care of the rest of us. They're kind of like the caregivers or the mothers of all 5 elements. They're about abundance. They're about nurturing. They want to help heal and soothe. They want to give, that motherly love that when you're a little child and you fall and you skin your knee, what's the first thing the child does? It goes to its mother and it sits on the mother's lap. Well, in Africa, they actually have a ceremony called lying on the mother's lap. And what you do is you lie on a mound of dirt and you let that energy that's in you that's negative be absorbed into the earth, and she in turn transitions it and gives you good energy. So Earth people are about motherly love.
Sorry for interjecting here. That's very similar to a technique that I use with people, where I get them to lay on the floor to connect to Mother Earth, and then to release anything that no longer serves them into the earth. It's very similar.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I love the intersections, that go across the different cultures.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's how and that's how you know that indigenous magic is real. Because I've traveled to different continents, and you're doing the same kind of work. And when I spent time in Haiti and then Africa and with the Native Americans, granted their modalities are a little bit different, but it's the same ideology. And it's where does that come from? These people have never met.
I know, right? I mean? And when I visited,
everybody thinks that it's evil, it's devil work. I'm like, maybe you should do your research a little deeper. But anyway, so the last 2 mineral people are what they call the the record keepers of the earth. They hold all the history and the stories of the earth. They're great teachers and they're great storytellers. So if you know people in your group or in your area that are amazing teachers, they can tell stories. They have a really good memory. You can't really pull one over on a mineral person because they remember everything. Then that is their element. And in Africa, they teach that the memory of the earth is found in the rocks and in stones because they believe the memory is in your bones, not up here. It's stored in the
Yeah.
bone. That is where the blood is made, the blood of earth, the blood of person. The last one would be nature. And again, people of nature are great healers. Um, they are about introducing people to change. They have a very, they like to play a lot of tricks and a lot of jokes on people. They have a great sense of humor. They like to
Yeah,
bring
that's
a light,
fantastic.
yeah, they like to bring a lighthearted effect to any type of situation. So if you know someone who's of nature and you are dealing with a person who may be going through depression or having a bad day, a nature person will always try to bring light to the situation with respect. They still
Yeah.
respect what you're going through. If your mother has passed away or whatever the situation, they bring honor and respect to that, but they try to bring out the lightheartedness because again, nature is about change. And when I say change, it's also about life and death. And going back to
Yeah.
what I said, revisiting that life and death is a constant cycle, and there's no need to fear either one. You're just going to go to a different place. I know a lot of us don't want to, run out and get hit by a bus, but that change is inevitable. It's going to happen. So the nature people try to tell us that it's okay to accept that change. And those are your five dogger elements.
Brilliant. Can you just give me the rhythm for the? Can you just
The rhythm
break
for
it?
what?
Is it for fire in
For fire
just
on this
tell
one?
me, just tell me the rhythms in the sequence,
Oh
like
yeah,
bass,
okay.
clap.
It's bass, tap, tap, bass, bass, tap, tap.
Is that
Bass,
tone,
tap,
tone, tone?
huh?
Bass, bass, tone, tone.
Bass, bass, tone, tone.
Two bass, bass,
Huh?
bass, tone, tone.
Yeah, it's bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Do you need
Thank
it?
you.
Do you need it played on here real quick, or are you good?
It's up to you. I just wanted to write the. So I've got the rhythm wrote down. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure on the hand positions.
let me demonstrate for you slowly, and then I'll take it to real speed.
Okay. Yeah.
In real time, it'll sound like this.
I'm sorry, get you moving on. A bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Anytime.
So
No, thank you for having me.
it's interesting because I know we were saying earlier that we've all got the different elements within like the birth years. So like mine's 1967. So I've got water, mineral, and water again, and fire. It's interesting
Yeah.
that Earth's not in mine because I'm very much an Earth keeper. But uh,
What is your birth date, like month and day?
sorry,
What is your birth date, like the month and day?
18/8/67. So I've
Zero.
got,
So you're born in August.
yeah,
Okay, so
18.
August is considered 08. So you have that Earth, then you have nature.
Oh
See it?
yes, a zero. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't look at it like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
zero. Yeah, yeah. So I've actually got all of them then. That's cool.
pretty
Yeah, I
much.
want to make.
That makes you
I
a
want to-
well-rounded individual.
I am. If you saw my belly, you'd see that I'm well-rounded.
You know what? I tell people the same thing. I'm like, I'm in shape. Round is a shape. All right. So I'm in shape.
Yeah, I'm in shape. Yeah, I'm the shape of a watermelon.
Beauty is beauty. It doesn't matter what you look like.
um. Well, we're nearly at the end now, Ryan. If there's anything else you want to share with us before you go, or before we
Let's
close.
see. I just, my message these days is there is so much, and this is nothing new. There's been deception and there's been, people being misinformed, not just with the media, but just in life in general. And it's very interesting. All the stories, beautiful, how we all connect. Thank you, Kathy, and I appreciate that comment. We need to find our inner truth. And especially in these times right now, we need to find our inner truth because we are being purposely misled to be confused and to not know which way to go. So for me, from my experience, the drum is the way to find that inner truth because when you play a drum, the drum tells everybody else in the group what kind of energy you bring and what kind of story you bring. So how you play is the type of person you are. So in order to change any type of energy that you may want to let go of, you basically change your playing style. You have a lot of people, I've done drum circle for a long time, and you have a lot of people that come to a drum circle, and it's not that they're inexperienced, but they have to be the loudest and the fastest and the hardest drummer in the group. I'm sure you've seen that too. We've all seen it. And that's great. I'm not taking anything away from that. That's great. But that tells the other drummers that are maybe on the sacred role, like, RJ and you and myself and other people in the group, that tells us what type of energy they're bringing, not only into the group, but into themselves. And it's not so much that it's going to do you and I any type of detrimental health or any type of bad, luck or negative energy. They're harming themselves by keeping that ideology, and they're harming themselves and they're harming their instrument because, again, these drums back here, these are sacred tools that have been around for thousands of years. The drum talks to you. You have to learn how to listen to it. And it's taken me 20 years to learn to do that, and I'm still doing it. I've been playing for almost 40 years. It still is teaching me about myself. And if you set the intention of being,
Ryan. I don't think we ever.
Yeah, we're not supposed to stop.
No,
you're not supposed to stop learning, or else you're done here. There's no point in being here. I think the drum is a great tutor. It's kind of like having that personal tutor or personal trainer that only you work with, and it brings out who you are. So, they always say the best drummer in the group is not the one who does all the loud, flashy solos. It's the one that can hold the rhythm and the beat and the intensity the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you strong. And it's not about, this interview today is not about who the best drummer is. It's about learning how to use this tool to hold your container and hold your ground and to walk your truth. Walk your truth. If you're going to say you're going to do something, then do it. And let the drum show you how to do it.
Absolutely. I need you to come over and tighten my drum for me because I don't know anybody here who can do it.
Is it rope like this?
Yeah, it's really difficult. I can't do it. My fingers won't do it. I've got rheumatism in my fingers, so it's difficult for me to play now. It's difficult for me to play now with the rheumatism, but I definitely can't. I can't tune it. I did it before with a metal rod.
Yes.
I can't even do that now. So.
Is there anybody else who can do it for you?
I don't know anybody. No, I've got a friend who teaches djembe, but she doesn't know how to tune them.
Well, I tell you what, you fly me to Cyprus and put me up for a week, and I'll tune your drum.
Sweetie, if I had the money to fly you to Cyprus, I would do. But right now, I don't have money to pay rent. So.
I feel you. It's tough times.
It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I don't think there's any flights now. There's no flights at the moment.
Jesus. They're trying to take it away from us, man. They're trying to take it all away from us.
I know. Well, Ryan, I've got to say this has been one of the most interesting interviews that I've done in the last 3 months.
And this has been the most 3 months, so I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no, I really miss the djembe group because you can't even put into words the feeling that it brings to you. When I started doing the djembe group, I was quite ill, and it really made a big difference. Psychologically, it made a really big difference to me. So, and of course, there's the community that you build up as well with the drummers. I mean, that's a big thing as well, a part of it. But this side of it that you're talking about, to me, is what it's all about. Not just learning the rhythms, you know. So I'm really excited about all this.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, most definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can join your Zoom classes. We'll see see if we can do that. And
because there's such a time difference, I don't, have a problem with recording these rhythms and just sending them to your group.
yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. I'd love that. It doesn't matter if I play it on a flat drum. It's just doing it.
Well, the thing about the I Ching drum is, I was just about, I think I know where you're going. You can play that on a hoop drum with a mallet as well when you do the I Ching.
On the what? On the what drum?
On a hoop drum, like a frame drum with a mallet, like a Native American drum. Yeah, you can use one of those I Ching. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because I've got 2 of those. So
I think I saw them in the wall last night.
Oh yes, you will have done. Yeah. There's one that I don't actually play because it needs redoing. It's a bit tingy. But the other one, the Sweat Lodge drum, that's the one that I use. It's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to have a break for August, guys. So we really need to find some speakers for September because I don't have anybody for September. So if you know anybody, Ryan, please send them.
I know tons of people.
Yeah, because we need to get people in for September and beyond. So I'm going to have a break for August.
You got it. I'll refer you to a few people here the next day or so.
And if you want to do another one in September, let us know, Ryan, and we can maybe do a full class or something, whatever you want to do. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah,
happier than.
Sorry. Well, I didn't hear what you said.
I said that would make me happier than punch.
Happier than punch. Me too.
Good. I just want to say thank you. Like I was getting in touch with my Native American side when I found your page on Facebook, and it resonated with me very well. Yeah, I want to drum now too, Kathy. Yeah, we'll get it going. So I thank you for having me on, and I fully believe in what you're doing, and you have my support 100%.
Thank you.
You're doing, one thing that I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned, is that doing spiritual work doesn't always reward us in a monetary way, but it rewards us in other ways. So
yeah, absolutely.
And I just thank you for having me on, and thank you, Soul Minds, for being here. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Keep doing what you do, because I used to be there. I used to be like, you know what, the hell with it, I'm done. I can't make a living. I'm going to go back into engineering, and I would get a job. It would last about a year because I just didn't fit in, because my fire element, as you now know, doesn't let you fit in because you're not doing what you should be doing.
No, yeah. I can't associate with normal people anymore. They just wind me up, to be honest.
Join the club.
Yeah, they wind me up. I can't cope with them, Yeah. I think I was telling you the other day, Cora, about the guy that I used to work with who told me the story about the dog. Was it you that I told?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in a restaurant last year for a week. For 1 week. And the owner was a total asshole, screaming and shouting all the time. And because I lost the dogs and my thing's animals, my biggest thing is animal welfare. And because I'm obsessed with animals, he started telling me this story about this dog that he locked in the car because this girl wouldn't go out with his friend, and he stole her dog and locked. It's 40 degrees out here. And he was laughing about it. And, you just really want to punch somebody.
Yeah, that's not.
I can't be around these people, the mentality of these people. I just can't do with it, The energy. People who don't sense energy do not understand it because they can just brush it off. I can't brush it off. It's really hard.
I'm probably telling you something that you already know, but every person that you run into is just meant for your growth.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so and I'm a fire person. I'm like you. I can get hot-headed and, want to punch somebody in the face, but I'm like, you know what? That person is where they're meant to be right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just try to
exactly.
that and say thank you and move on. So
yeah, I just smiled. I just smiled at him, thinking, in my own head what I was thinking. But I just smiled at him and carried on with my job, and then never went back.
I don't blame you. I walked off the person there. I mean, and then you go home and you grab one of these, and then you just beat it down on this.
Yeah.
And it all works out. Yeah. Maria, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Ryan. It's been amazing. You are amazing, and I really pray to God that one day we get to meet in real time, and I get to meet your lovely little boy.
We will. I send you nothing but love and respect.
Yeah, and likewise, lots of love and respect to you too. And if you just stay on while I close off, and we can say goodbye. And thank you everybody for joining us. Please share the video out. I think this really needs to get out to people. And if everybody that's on here has already liked my page, but anybody who's watching afterwards, please like the YouTube channel, like the video, and share it. These things that people need to learn about these nowadays. So we're going to close for the summer, and we will see you in September. Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Bye. Lots of